What we found is actually around 10% of the human population is motivated by money.
This is the Game Changers Experience. Deep dive conversations with leading business disruptors, Olympic athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and influencers from around the world. This show will teach you insights about the winning principles in mindset, productivity, marketing, branding, entrepreneurship, business strategy, and more. Hosted by productivity authority, business strategist, former elite athlete, author, and public speaker, Adam Strong.
You know, what we found in our research, we've identified 23 human motivators. Okay. And they range in the world, everything from creativity to ownership. And what the problem is, sometimes psychologists will come out and say, everybody's motivated by interesting work. That's the most, or everybody's motivated by autonomy. Dan Pink wrote the book Drive, where he said autonomy is the biggest driver of human behavior. Right. So what they're doing is they're taking all these people and they're saying 60% of people are motivated by autonomy. So that's the number one driver. So everybody is motivated. And that's not true. What we found is actually around 10% of the human population is motivated by money. So you can't make this broad brush statement that nobody is. However, you have another 90% of people where it's not a top motivator. What we find ideas like in making an impact, learning on the job, and my family are a lot more important than money for most people. But then again, there are certain people where money is a strong motivator. And sometimes we have this idea that, oh, if money's a motivator, then you're just this heartless jerk. All you're about is, and actually what we find is it's actually really easy to work with those kinds of people because you know exactly what it takes to get them to do their hardest work. You know, they make some great salespeople, they make great employees if the compensation is right. And so that's what we found, the nuances in our work in motivation is the odds of you and I, Adam, having the same top 5 of those 23 motivators in common is 1,000,000 to 1. We're all very different. We have, we're all kind of have our unique snowflake-like things that drive us. And unfortunately, too many books, too many experts say, these are the 5 things that motivate people, 3 things, and it's just not right.
Interesting. Do you feel that, and this is a really interesting question from my perspective, do you feel that the word gratitude, when we think of the word gratitude, do you think it's really underused in the workplace, whether it be a large organization or even if you're running a small team?
That's a good question, too. That really is where we began the work on our book, Leading with Gratitude. We were sitting one day with our good friend, Marshall Goldsmith, who, wrote the book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And Marshall, and we were talking about, the characteristics of those leaders we end up working with. Because as executive coaches, sometimes people think, oh, you must work with some really terrible leaders. And no, we never get called in on those people. Those people typically just get fired. We typically get brought in with a leader who's doing really well and wants to make the next leap to maybe an executive level, or maybe they're a high potential leader that we want to make, get to a director level, that they're going to have a big team. That's typically who we work with. So they're good people who want to get better as leaders. And what we inevitably find is they're so focused on driving their deliverables. They're so focused on hitting their goals and so wrapped up in their own worlds that they're not thinking about the team. And as you move to the next level in business, you've got to worry more about your people because they're going to deliver much more than you could alone. And so what we found, and we as we were sitting around, we said, isn't it interesting that of all the leaders we've worked with and been asked to take them to the next level, that typically gratitude is not something they're good at. They all know it's important. They all know they should be, identifying those great behaviors, valuing their people, making sure they feel valued and want to stay with their team. And yet, in 9 times out of 10, they either weren't doing it or were doing it poorly, doing it wrong, or not doing it frequently enough. And so that's what began this journey. We said, and that's sort of the first third of the book, is the gratitude myths. What holds us back from being more grateful to our people?